This podcast is proudly brought to you by Paul's Strength Book, an app for everyone. For less than $2 a day, you can have full access to weight training programs, nutrition, recipes, macro calculators, video library, and you can also track all of your metrics including weight, measurements, strength, and performance. Search for Paul's Strength Book in all good app stores now. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Paul's Body Engineering Podcast. Today I'm going to run solo. Now it's been a couple of weeks since I've done my most recent podcast, and I guess, as I've spoken about in the past, I don't want to do a podcast just for the sake of it. I don't want to try and stick to a weekly release simply because it's consistent. I want to make sure that each time I provide a podcast, there's good value, good content, good education, and there's substance there that someone can learn from. And this week is certainly that. I wanted to touch on, actually this topic came from my colleague Kelly. She actually mentioned it to me, and I thought, that's actually a really good point. I'm going to do that because it's something that I can draw on firsthand, and that is what's next. What's next? So what I mean by that is what's next for me, or what's next for anyone when the goal that they've achieved is now no longer available, or the goal that they have aspired to for many months or many years is now achieved. What's the next step? We always say, I'll have another goal before the existing goal ends, but sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes that's not possible. And as you get older, I'm now 45. My bodybuilding career is now over. I've retired after having competed for over 6 years, 40 shows, competed, national shows, won 2 pro cards. I achieved everything I wanted to in that space. And don't get me wrong, I love the sport, but I want to put more energy and focus into other areas. But in terms of, motivation for exercise and nutrition, obviously my bodybuilding journey was the backbone of that. So that was the reason why I went to the gym every day. It was very specific. I trained for those reasons. I had a coach who obviously directed me and provided the necessary support and guidance and programming that I needed to achieve those goals. Now, I just train for me. And that's what a lot of people struggle with. I often have conversations with clients or individuals. I'm lacking motivation. I just don't have motivation. I couldn't be bothered. When my experience tells me that I love the gym. I love training. I love that feeling. And it's proven. It's a proven fact that weight training releases so many beneficial hormones. It makes you feel amazing. You walk out feeling so good. Your brain is thinking more clearly. Some of the best ideas I've come up with from a business perspective have been during a training session. I've had to stop what I'm doing and take some notes because they were cracking ideas and I didn't want to forget them. So I'd put them in my notes in my phone. And that's off the back of training. So that's when I'm at my most productive from a mental point of view. But we don't want to forget the fact that weight training provides us with longevity. Weight training provides us with sustainability. Weight training has so many benefits to it that you don't need a short-term goal, or you don't need this massive objective in order to keep weight training. I turn up purely for me. I turn up because I know it's good for me. It makes me feel good. I love the challenge. I love the opportunity to try and get stronger. I love the fact that I know I am setting up my health and my fitness and my strength and my quality of life for years to come. And that's really important to me. I've got 3 kids. I'm going to assume that they're going to have kids, in 10 years' time or whatever the case may be. So I will potentially be a grandfather, a grandpa, whatever I end up calling myself. And I want to be there for those grandkids. I want to be running around with them at the park. I want to be playing with them. I want to be pushing them on bikes. I want to be taking them down to the water and surfing with them. I don't want to be the grandparent who is lazy, who is weak, who is has poor mobility, has poor posture, can't support themselves. All of those things are highly possible. If you look at the older generation now, it describes a lot of the older generation. A lot of them rely on others to move around. My mother, God love her, has poor mobility and struggles to get up and down out of a chair, but just simply due to lack of strength. As much as I want to encourage her to do strength training, that's just, given that she's my mother, she doesn't want to listen to me as much as she should, which is fine. Like, I respect that, and that's her decision. But her mobility is not great, her strength is not great, and it's clear. It's very evident and clear that she struggles sometimes on a daily basis just to do fundamental things that most people should be able to do without thinking. And this is another reason why I'm motivated. So in terms of what's next for me, it's simply a case that I just turn up. I make it a priority to go to the gym 5 days a week. It's a non-negotiable of mine, unless I'm away, unless there's something else pressing that I have to attend to. But I will get to the gym and I will push myself. I'm structuring and programming myself at the moment. So I've got, deloads in place. I've got specific training on things that I want to improve on, whether that be a certain movement, a certain mobility challenge, or just general strength. Like, for example, at the moment, I'm really enjoying the hack squat. I've hit a PB nearly every week for the last couple of weeks now. And I'm making great progress. I'm lifting more than I ever have on that particular machine because I've stuck with it. I've persevered. I've strategically programmed it so that I can see progression and can achieve it. But at the same time, my head's got to be in it. It's all well and good to turn up to the gym, but you've still got to put in. You've still got to be mentally ready to work and work hard. And a lot of people struggle with that. They struggle with this idea of motivation when motivation comes from discipline. Like, every single day, I'm thinking, okay, when am I going to fit my gym in? Okay, and some days I know when I'm training because of my workload and my schedule. I know exactly when training will take place, and I don't miss that unless, again, something unforeseen pops up. So it's a non-negotiable. It's scheduled in. It's part of my week. It's part of my lifestyle. Myself and my wife often train at the same time, and I find that highly motivating as well. Even though we don't train together in terms of the same exercise at the same time, just knowing she's in the gym is highly motivating for me because that inspires me to work harder. She might just sort of glance over and have a look and go, oh, Paul's training really well today. I want to impress her. It doesn't matter that she's my wife or my a girlfriend of 2 weeks. I still want to impress her. And again, another reason to be motivated, another reason to be disciplined. And that's what it comes down to. Motivation comes from discipline. And once you realize that, you will achieve so much more. So whether you've got a strong objective, a strong goal, a strong why or not, it doesn't matter, because health should be the first thing you think of in terms of how your week looks, how your year looks. Health is so important. Without health, you're no good to anybody. And I've said this time and time again, and sometimes it's something that people lack in terms of changing the way that they behave and their attitude towards health and fitness. How or why, I don't know, but at the same time, I guess I can understand it to a degree because I did live that life once upon a time. But over the course of 10 years, having worked in this industry, and maybe that is somewhat of an advantage, but I will spend the rest of my professional career continually speaking this way about health and fitness and the importance of, because I know what the population will be like if we don't prioritize health and fitness. And there's going to be a massive surge and pressure on our health systems, on our aged care systems, on our welfare systems, and people won't be. Those systems won't be able to keep up because the ever-increasing population in those age brackets will outnumber the amount of services, the amount of staff, and the amount of finances that are available. So all of a sudden, we're going to have a massive problem. But if you take the time and do the work now, you'll eliminate that issue. I've had a client who's recently started with me who's 65. And, she asked me the question, is it too late for me? Can I still make some physical change? I said, absolutely. 100% you can. Sure, age is a consideration in this space, but there's no reason why you can't make some physical change, why you can't improve your strength, your bone density, your nutrition, your metabolism, your brain function. There's no reason at all, simply by improving your health and fitness and your attitude towards it. And if you do that, well then the world is your oyster. And the next 10, 20, 30 years will be so much better than they potentially could have been had you not made that start. And that's really important to understand. So for me personally, what's next is the next session. The next session is next. So I trained this morning, trained legs. Tomorrow I'm going to train again. It'll be upper body. And I always look forward to it. You know, where we live in conjunction to our gym is about a 25-minute drive. It's not that convenient. There's actually a gym we live in a small country town, and there is a very small pokey gym in town that's literally a 4-minute drive away. But we choose to go to a bigger gym that's 25 minutes away because it obviously caters for more equipment and the type of training that we like to do. But we make the conscious effort to drive there Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. We will make that effort and spend that extra time driving back and forth to ensure that we get to the gym. So we don't have excuses. That could be an excuse, but we don't make it. So that was the primary point I wanted to get across. What's next? But there is something else I want to touch on in this particular podcast that has come to my attention, particularly over the last couple of weeks. I've had, I think, 3 individuals reach out to me at various stages in the last couple of weeks and asked to cancel coaching. Now that I don't take that as a reflection on my service or my coaching as a whole. It's where they are in terms of their own journey. And rather than just going, yep, that's no problem, I'll cancel it, I go back to them and I give them some more information, a little bit more assistance and guidance, because the majority of people that want to cancel are those that are unmotivated at the moment. Their mental health is sort of a burden on them. They're not feeling great about themselves. They're somewhat depressed. They can't get started, or they might have made a start and then fallen off due to personal circumstances or whatever. But we know for a fact, and my wife actually brought this stat up the other day, and I'm going to get her on in a future podcast to talk about this in more detail. But I think it was in 2015, and I hope I get this right, that it was approved in 2015 for doctors to actually recommend exercise and nutrition for clients suffering from depression, because they knew, those that tested it and had done the research knew that it helped, knew that it made a positive impact. Unfortunately, fast forward to 2023, doctors still don't do that, and this is by no means a rag on the medical industry or doctors in general, but doctors act as a conduit, right? They listen to your symptoms and they'll either refer you to a pharmacy where they'll give you a referral for drugs, or they'll refer you on to a specialist. They won't actually say, hang on, that can be fixed through simply improving your exercise, improving your diet, getting better sleep, drinking more water, getting some sunshine. And depression is certainly one of those factors. And it's proven that if you get more sunshine, you're going to feel better because of it. Your melatonin production goes up. If you get more exercise, guess what? Serotonin releases more. Endorphins releasing more. Dopamine releases more. You get that fix. You feel better because of it. And then all of a sudden, that depression goes away. And I'm not saying it'll go away forever, because obviously it's something that a lot of people are challenged with, but it can be remediated. It can be worked with, particularly if you're focusing on health and nutrition. And it's been proven that it can help through research. This is a fact. We can't ignore this. So when someone comes to me and says, I want to give up, or I want to throw in the towel, or I want to back off coaching for a while because my head's just not in it, I'll go back to you and I'll say, well, why? What's the alternative here? Okay, you came to me for a reason. You want to improve your health and fitness because you knew it would make you feel better. You knew it would give you more energy. You knew it would give you more confidence, and it would get you out of the state you're currently in. So do you want to go back to that? Is that really what you want to do? Or is it the case that you're just giving up because 1, you're impatient, 2, you're lazy, or 3, you just haven't seen the results that you want in the short space of time that you're doing it, which effectively is being impatient? Those things can be overcome. Those things can be overcome. You just have to put in the work. And unfortunately, we are a very precious society. We are a lazy society. We are an impatient society. We want to see results now. But the truth is, it takes time. It takes discipline. It takes commitment. And it takes patience. You can understand, you can hear the passion in my voice, because I'm really passionate about this. I wish more people would actually listen and understand that they can make significant changes to their health, significant changes to their headspace, simply by moving more and eating better. It's not that hard. Fuck the bloody stupid diets that are out there, the fad diets, the carnivore, the keto, all those stupid diets that, yes, they play a role, but at the end of the day, they are simply all based around calories. Calories are king at the end of the day. And I'm not going to, jump into all the different diets and things like that. I'm not going to diss them. Everything serves a purpose. Everything is customized. Everything is for an individual depending on what they need. But you eat right, you train more, you're going to have a really fulfilling life. It's as simple as that. So I wanted to sort of elaborate on that. I don't want to go around in circles here, but don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. When you think it's tough, talk to someone. If you've got a coach, reach out to them. Be transparent. Be honest. Don't bullshit them because they can see it. Whenever someone tells me that, I'm going to come back, but I just need some time out, I know full well that's complete and utter BS. Okay? Tell me the truth. And then we can potentially work through it. Like, I literally had a conversation with someone today who firstly said, look, I need to pull out. I can't do this coaching anymore for my own mental health. We had a conversation. I went back to her and just spoke about the importance of continuing to train, the importance of exercise. I said, look, if you come back to me and you say you still want to cancel your coaching, that's no problem. I have complete respect for that. But these are the options you've got in front of you and the decisions you can make. And she came back to me and said, thank you so much. I know that I need to exercise. I will do that. Can you help me with this, this, and this? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And now she's going to pursue that and continue on. And that's not by no means a sales pitch or trying to retain clients. It's about helping the individual. It's about them seeing their true potential. And when you can see your true potential, life gets so much better. I tell you what, who here doesn't want to be happy, doesn't want to be energetic, doesn't want to sleep better, doesn't want to have their cup full and be fulfilled every single day? You can achieve that simply by starting. That's one of the biggest things, the biggest challenges you've got is just to start. You start and everything opens up and you go, oh my God, I wish I'd done this sooner. How many people have said that? I wish I started sooner. I wish I'd started sooner. I wish I started when I was 16. Imagine the life I'd be leaving now. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm so grateful for where I'm at in life right now. But my physique would be a lot different. My bodybuilding career would be completely different. But I don't have any regrets because I'm now in a space that I'm really proud of. So look, I'll finish up there. I want to get those messages across. I think it's really important and I hope people take a lot from it. I would appreciate any feedback you've got. Please message me, comment, share my podcast. If you get something out of these podcasts, please let me know because I love that feedback. It's why I do it. I make no money out of these podcasts. It's simply a passion of mine and a platform to allow me to say my piece and get some value out there. So I do hope people get a little bit out of it themselves. So once again, thank you very much for tuning in. If you are enjoying these podcasts, please share them on your stories. Tag myself. I've released a new app as well, which obviously was part of the intro of this podcast. But jump on your app store and search for Paul's Strength Book. Have a look if you're a non-client and are interested because I'm really proud of it. It is so comprehensive in what it offers. And for a fraction of the price of generalized coaching, if you want to get a start, it's the best way to do it. That's for sure. So thank you once again. I will wind up now before I ramble any further. And as I say to every client, every single day, have a great day.